So for those who haven't seen my mask work before, the masks represent different internal archetypes for myself, and they also often resonate with other people. And some of them have voices, some of them don't. A lot of the ones that I'm going to share today do not have voices. And some of them are easier for me to access than others and embody. When I wear them, I'm not trying to act per se. I'm just trying to embody the characters and feel them and bring them to life internally to externally. And the representations are always incomplete. They're just partial light, dark aspects. And so what I'm sharing today is a mix of what I witnessed and also experienced after our house burnt down, our family home burnt down in the Woolsey fire in 2018. And I was hoping to just shed some light for people on that experience and the transformations that occurred for our family through the process, which took about 5 years to kind of resettle for everybody as well as we could. Like my mom, I don't think ever really recovered. And these experiences may be general or just unique to us. I don't know, but it seemed like they have resonated with people who also have had similar experiences. So we'll jump in. And Marty will show this video that I created, which is of the burnt artifacts that were around our house after the fire that I think are just gorgeous and just represent this idea of transformation. So what happened? The start of the transformation was my sister and aunt and I were gathering together for the weekend for a fun girls time together. And we were at my aunt's new house and in Palm Desert, and we were doing our usual girls things, laughing, having fun, and we started to catch the news that the fire had started quite a long ways away in the Santa Susana area in LA. And we kept playing and doing our fun gals things, and we kept kind of looking, checking out the news, and it was fine. The fire was far away. We were taking photos of ourselves. We were wearing wigs. We were having a great old time. And the fire kept getting closer and closer. And then we started getting nervous, a little bit nervous. And then before you knew it, it's coming over the hill. And we woke up, I think, the second day of the fire, and Renee called my father-in-law and brother-in-law and said, grab the cat and get the heck out of there. It's time to go. And then we waited for several days and trying to hear from neighbors, trying to find out if our house had burnt down or not. And the one neighbor that we were able to get in touch with wouldn't tell us what the heck had happened. He kept texting, oh, this neighbor's house is gone, oh, that neighbor's house is gone, but he would not freaking say if our house was there or not. So it took us a few days to learn that, in fact, another neighbor had watched the fire come down the hill, and it took out our beautiful home that my dad and mom had built from used lumber. In fact, my dad had gone out and torn down lots of old buildings, old churches, old schoolyards, old schoolhouses to construct this incredible house that we had all lived in for 48 years. And in 20 minutes, the whole thing burnt to the ground. This is my mask of transformation. So we're all in quite a lot of shock, and partly wondering at first, like maybe it wasn't a bad thing. Like while we were pondering whether or not it was going to still be there at the end of it, we're thinking, well, we got my mom and stepdad in there, and they were getting older and they had so much stuff, and like, what the heck? How would we ever get them out? So, it's like, well, maybe that wouldn't be a horrible thing if it burnt. And in fact, there was some good parts of it, like that we would never have to deal with all that stuff with my mom, and because she was little bit of a hoarder, and there was so much stuff. So that was a problem that we would never have to clean all that out. And the main thing that I think we really felt, or at least I sure felt, was emptiness, like just a profound emptiness. This is my emptiness mask. And I think it's just gotten deeper and more profound, actually, that sense of emptiness. I had the amazing experience of bringing some of my masks out to the home site after it burnt, and emptiness was one of them. And I got to dance with it on the home site and dance with it in the hills around our house. And for me, it was so healing and profound, and if I dare say, it was actually a highlight of my life, really. Just to be able to embody kind of that depth of what I was feeling in that space where so much had happened. 48 years of living. Then we started to sort of enter the chaos phase, which was sort of starting to realize the enormity of what had to be done afterwards, which was kind of unimaginable. The volume, the paperwork, the cleanup, the dealing with people, the paperwork, it went on and on and on forever. And there was so many pieces, trying to get my mom settled, trying to get my sister settled, trying to get everybody back into some semblance of normal, which was so far, it just seemed impossible. This is my chaos mask. Becky, The chaos went on and on and on. Days, weeks, months, years, trying to put all the pieces back together. Renee sort of took on the bulk of sorting things out because she was kind of on the ground trying to deal with everything and deal with our poor mama, who was starting to kind of slip. It started out with paperwork, and she would make these notes to herself, and they got more and more and more notes. There was notes everywhere, and we tried to kind of grab all the notes and try to make sense of them, because that was all part of the chaos, and try to just like combine them, because we started to notice that the notes were repeating like pages and pages, and there was like 10 notes that all said the same thing, and like how to sort out what was new and what was old and try to keep track of all these things. And Mama started to repeat herself a lot too, and she was slipping pretty big time. And that's kind of before or as we realized that she was having dementia. And anyway, it all came on so fast, and it was very much exacerbated by the fire and repeating herself. This is my mask of vulnerability. We used to have a house. It was an amazing house. You would have loved it. It was so beautiful. We lost our house, and we had a house. We lost our house in the fire. We had an amazing house. We lost our house in the fire. It was amazing. I don't know what to do now. We lost our house in the fire. We lost our house in the fire. I don't know what to do. It's funny because I was sharing with Renee that I thought it was really interesting that that none of us really experience like a profound grief. Like you would kind of think that that might happen. And it kind of never really did. I don't think my mom cried at all. And I don't know that any of us did too much. I mean, I almost had a grief mask here, but then I realized we never really went through that. Even though we felt grief, but it wasn't like breaking down kind of grief. It was just more of that whole emptiness thing. And one of the things that helped me stay steady for everybody as much as I can was having a meditative practice and continuing to try to find that in order to interact with everybody, in order to be present day after day with all of the intensity, with all of the things to do, the piles, the mounds, the mountains of stuff that had to be done, and the intensity and the emotion, and mom breaking down and her not being able to be present. And so most of it on my sister's back, and then some on mine and my aunt. But meanwhile, the whole time, just trying to stay with peace inside as much as possible. This is my peace mask. That might be the most important energy to try to hang on to in the face of disaster. And that made such a big difference in coping with the emptiness and the chaos and the craziness. For me personally, because we had all I think it took me a long time to grow up, and I think that that's one of the benefits of this event for me, was learning to become response able. And we spent so many years in that wonderful house. Like my mom would always buy my sister and I earrings and scarves, and every Christmas we would all gather and have just this fun, silly community time together. And anyway, so that kid part was always quite strong in me. And so to start to learn how to become responsible with our family was a beautiful thing. This is my response able mask. What do you need? What do you need? Okay, we can do that. I can do that. Come on. Okay, here. Give it to me. I'll take it. Okay, got it. Hey. Wait. What do you need? I'm here. Okay. Here. Give me some. Yeah. Okay, got it. Okay, we can do this. We can do this. Wait. Wait. What do you need? What do you need? What's happening? Look, 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 look. Scan, scan, scan. Okay, okay, okay. We can do this. We can do this. We can do this together. We will. We can. We're able. Let's do it. The teamwork that came out of that for my sister and I were probably, for me, one of the best parts to come out of that whole thing. Just learning how to be a responsible team member. And that's continued, which has been amazing because we, like Renee and I, weren't really, I mean, we saw each other once or twice a year, you know, in the past for years, all these years. And then suddenly it just, bam, you know, we're just like a inseparable team that's been flawlessly working together ever since, which is so freaking cool. I mean, it almost made the whole thing worthwhile, almost. I've worked with Peggy for many, many years, and she worked with Carl Rogers, who coined the term the actualizing tendency. And what that is a part of ourselves that moves towards the light and endeavors to become self-actualized regardless of what's happening, regardless of the ups, the downs, the twists, the turns. And sometimes it looks like it's reversing and going in the wrong direction. But Roger's thing was that it's always going in the right direction for what people need. So this next mask is the actualizing tendency. And for me, it's been a really important archetype to remember and hold on to through the whole process, because it's a reminder that everything is well and as it should be, regardless of what's happening, regardless of how bad it looks. That we're moving towards the light. This is my actualizer mask. That's one of my favorites. It's really helped with trusting that all is well. The next mask is my Sophia Wise Woman mask. And I brought her out to the fire site too, because I was just so much pondering, like, how did we get here? What was my personal responsibility and the responsibility of everybody for why the heck did that fire happen? Why do these fires continue to happen? What are I doing in my life that contributes to this general decay and devastation that's happening everywhere? And what can we do for the future? So this is my wise woman, Sophia mask. We're all responsible. We are all responsible. All the actions. Every little thing has a ripple effect. Everything. So how do we start becoming more conscious? How do we start becoming more aware in our lives of the impact that we have? And that's part of why we wanted to do this presentation, was because there was a lot of people who were showing up that were actually behaving very inappropriately after the fire and trying to help, but like really getting in the way. And it's quite counterintuitive because you kind of have to dial in, see what the people are going through, and more than anything, unless you're on the ground, stay away, step aside, offer your help, and then go away. That was probably one of the biggest mind-blowing things, was how people got in the way, how their help was actually a hindrance. Because there is just so much to do afterwards. I mean, the cleanup is absolutely unimaginable. The amount of cleanup. How time-consuming. How brain-consuming. And, like, there was not really time for my mom to call 50 people and thank them for their phone calls, thank them for their want to give gifts. So sometimes the best reaction is just to stay away. The devastation is just unimaginable. The chaos is inconceivable. The vulnerability. Oh my God. It's like so delicate. Whether it's a defensive thing or a lost thing. How do you hold emptiness? How do you hold space for someone to be very empty for a very long time and in a state of complete unknown? Peace is huge. It's absolutely vital, critical. It might be the most important place to be and thing to feel. Of course, being responsive if you can. If you're on deck, if you know what to do. If you don't know what to do, don't get involved. If you do, then step out. Hey, and remembering always that this is happening. We are in a process. We're in an amazing process of this life, of all these things that happen, the ups and downs, the highs and lows, the devastations, the rebirths, the transformation. It's incredible how to hold it all. I think one of the amazing pieces, which is my last mask, is compassion and one of the important things that happened was being able to experience and understand firsthand what other people in living through disasters are going through, perhaps, or some aspect of that. And so the compassion, you know, it moved out from just my family to kind of understanding the world better. And I think that a lot of us experience that. This is my compassion mask. After the fire, after they cleaned up different parts of it, the bulldozers came in, the hazard dudes came in. The site went through all these amazing transformations to clear itself back out to a barren representation of what it was when we first moved there. And one day I sat on the hill outside my old bedroom. The last stone work from our patio outside my old bedroom was still intact, and I went out and sat there, and I sang a little song, which I will do again right now. I'm not a singer. My voice was so cracked when I was sitting out there, and it just sounded so bad, but it felt so good to offer a little song to the land. It was so beautiful. And then it broke down. And it was so beautiful. And it broke down. It was so beautiful. And it will be again. It was so beautiful. And now it is again. We're in a new place. It's a new life. We'll get by. We keep trying. We stand up, we fall down, we get up and keep trying. It was so beautiful, and now it will be beautiful again.